Shadow Blade Reload is a fast-paced action platformer where you sprint through ancient but also modern areas littered with traps to dodge and all kinds of enemies to fight. You play as Kuro, a very skilled ninja who has to save his master from the evil clutches of a clan. Okay, first things first. This game has dated graphics and the story is very simplistic and predictable. But I have to say, I really like the comic booky cutscenes and their art style. I wish the in-game visuals could look like this as well, but that's sadly not the case. Nevertheless, the in-game art style only bothered me a bit in the beginning, but just after playing for a few seconds I was blown away by the fast-paced gameplay. Everything felt so fluid, especially the platforming and the fighting. The game is divided in 7 areas, and each area has 5 or more levels full of crazy platforming, awesome kill animations and fun and easy to follow pathing. Depending on the difficulty you are playing, the levels will change a bit in layout and in what kind of enemies will try to stop you. So in a way you could say each area has at least 15 levels instead of just 5. I thought it was a pretty cool addition, and discovering some changes in the layout were enjoyable to notice. Each level also has a grading system at the end, and you will get a higher grade if you finish the level as soon as possible, gathered all the orbs and the 3 kanji collectibles. And didn't die, of course. It doesn't matter what grade you get, you still advance to the next level. But for completionists or speedrunners, this is a really nice feature and a good way of getting better at the game. The kanji tokens and some orbs require a bit of going off the main path to collect, and sometimes they are pretty hard to reach, so it added a bit more challenge to the overall level design. I can't say this game is really difficult. There are many checkpoints in each level, and the only punishment you get for dying is the last of the collectibles you gained after activating the last checkpoint. One thing that added a bit more challenge to this game was the fact that you die in one hit. You literally have no health bar. The yellow bar in the top left corner is not your health, but an indication of how many orbs you have collected. When it's full and sparkles, you know you have collected every single orb in a level. So yes, you die in one hit, but the checkpoints aren't far away from each other. And don't forget, you are a very skilled ninja with some awesome mobility and fight moves. Every enemy dies in one hit as well, but some of them are only vulnerable if you attack them from above or if you strike while dashing. I loved all the different execute animations and the ragdoll physics of the bodies. It's over the top, but so much fun. I really enjoyed the flow of this game. Every level is beatable under 1 or 2 minutes if you are skilled enough. It's just a really fun game. Sure, the backgrounds don't really change that much, and sometimes some levels feel like reskins of earlier levels, but with stronger enemies and new traps. But this game is so fast paced that you don't really care. I had a blast playing as Kuro, doing cool moves, dodging traps and sprinting to the next enemy and finishing them in a brutal way. Just look at it. The game does have a few flaws, sadly. One of the biggest complaints I have is about the boss fights. There aren't that many of them, but each one of them felt clunky and the attack patterns were random. I don't think this gameplay was really suited for boss fights. It's just too fast paced for that. There were moments where you have to escape from or hunt down an enemy, and that really worked well. One boss fight has, in my opinion, a really bad musical theme. I personally don't mind dubstep, but this song felt so out of place and it was too chaotic. It didn't really work for me, and the same goes for a few more songs in this game. The music in this game was a mixed bag in general for me. Some songs were pretty cool, but some were very forgettable. I also came across a few bugs or glitches, like getting stuck in walls or in an animation and losing the background music for the rest of the level. But these weren't major issues, because you can just restart the level in an instant. So in general, Shadow Blade Reload isn't the most beautiful action platformer or the most polished, but man oh man, what is it fun. You feel like such a badass doing all these crazy jumps and cool moves. It's an amazing feeling. The boss fights weren't really the same quality as the main gameplay, but they weren't very common. Hopefully you can just look past the dated graphics and just focus on the fast-paced gameplay. I had a huge grin on my face almost the entire time, because I was not expecting this game to be so much fun when I booted it up. Shadow Blade Reload is another hidden gem, and I can't wait to find out what the developers are going to create next. So be ready to dodge and fight everything that stands in your way as Kuro, the Blade of Shadow.